People will hate you, rate you, shake you, and break you, but how strong you stand is what makes you. LeBron James said that, and I'm saying this. Welcome to High and Low. Good day and good night. Welcome to the High and Low Basketball Podcast. This is episode number 100 and King. Woo! Not King from Parts Unknown. No, not that guy. King as in Bernard King, a.k.a. episode number 130. 30 was the number worn by NBA legend Bernard King, one of the greatest scorers of all time, one of the greatest what-ifs in NBA history. If injuries didn't take Bernard King away from the game just as he hit his peak, perhaps his name is sung in the amongst the other legends, the annals of time. I don't know how you want to say that. Anyway, his run as a member of the New York Knicks was terrifying, enough to land him in the Hall of Fame. After coming back from injury, Bernard King found himself cast away to the Washington Bullets, where he would enjoy nominal success as a player on the wrong side of 30, with the exception of the 1990-91 season, where 34-year-old Bernard King experienced a renaissance and averaged 28.4 points per game. But the basketball gods are cruel, and just as King would begin another reign, injuries would derail, and this time it would be for good.
Wow.
Didn't mean to leave it on a somber note. Did I mention he was inducted into the Hall of Fame? Maybe we'll leave it on that note. Hall of Famer Bernard King. Anyway, my name is Ike Amaechi, and I'm joined by Ugo, Sean Khan, Mitch Orsatti, and special guest Stephen Leslie. Stephen doing something his Lakers couldn't do, going back to back. I like it. Around here, we live by a principle governed by the high and low lives of the world, which means we talk about basketball, especially and specifically the NBA, and we talk about it at any time, anywhere, north, south, east, west, high and low. This week on High and Low, we have some burning questions from listeners. The mailbag is hot. I peeked, and there are a couple of controversial takes in there, hot takes. And, I'm eager to hear your reactions, guys. And I want to hear some of those answers. Anyway, stay tuned for that. Before we lock in, let's check in. This week we have the rare Fab Four combo with Stephen, Ugo, Mitch, and Sean at the table at the same time. And the timing is perfect because I think it's only right to have you all here just to answer these explosive questions. The listeners went in this week. I shared the questions with these guys, and it's coming in a moment. Ugo, Mitch, Sean, you heard the episode last week. Do you have any big surprises in the NBA season that you want to add to what Stephen and I talked about?
Yeah, like Steven said it, but I'm just Utah. Like what is happening there? I think we all picked them to be bottom 2 or 3 teams in the league.
Oh yeah.
So that's crazy to me.
They are messing up the tankathon.
Yeah.
I'll echo Steven as well with Minnesota just being such a disaster. Gosh. Playing 4-on-5 now. What are they doing?
How are they getting worse week by week?
Oh my God.
Hugo, that's your team, man.
Bonjour mon ami, ça va très bien. Listen, the best laid plans have to be executed, and they're definitely not executing on that side of the fence. But yeah, definitely, I still say this season is bizarro, I guess. Teams that we're expecting to be good are not, and teams that we're expecting not to be good are good, or it's just, I don't know, man. It's a bizarro season. That's all I can call it.
Except for the Bucks. The Bucks were supposed to be.
Yeah, I think the teams that we expect to be good are still good.
Like who?
It's a pretty generic answer.
Okay. Like who? Okay, name the top 5 teams in the East.
No, oh my God.
We don't have to do that, but we all thought the Bucks would be good. We all thought the Golden State Warriors and the Suns would be good. They're still good. There's just like one random team that is doing better, and some are just doing worse. That's it. But it's still the same.
Your Portland Trailblazers are making Dame look good.
Not really.
Portland looks good. Cleveland looks great.
Oof.
Yeah. I always thought they were going to be good, but
right?
Great.
I mean, Warriors aren't even in the play-in right now.
That doesn't matter.
Like 70 games left.
Yeah,
I know, but I'm just saying it's weird. It's a bizarro season.
It's okay.
It's an bizarro season
Start.
early
Yeah.
Bizarro
He's got a point.
season.
He's got a point.
Yeah, we didn't expect
Yeah.
the Warriors to crawl out the starting gate.
I got to check my receipt on my good friend Sean there, because remember we were talking to Lakers and how many games did they have to
You
lose?
said 0-20. I said 5-15. They're 2-9 currently.
All right, well, you got to be right to get. You got to get the 5 to be right, then, man. So we'll see.
Oh my
You
God.
have to get the O to be right, and you're already wrong.
Listen, you both be wrong like crabs in a bucket.
All right. Well, on that note, Steven, Mitch, Sean, Ugo, I appreciate the time this week. Thank you for joining me. Listeners, thank you for joining us for yet another installment of High and Low. Another week, another episode, more NBA. So, of course, more High and Low. This week in NBA history, the league got a BJ for 2 nickels. Relax. On November 14th, 2009, let me explain. On November 14th, 2009, the Milwaukee Bucks and the Golden State Warriors met on the floor of the Bradley Center. The game was a grossly inaccurate tale of 2 rookies featuring 2 lottery picks from the 2009 NBA draft. On one end, Golden State Warriors, who were led by Monte Ellis at the time. Remember that guy? They featured the 7th pick out of Davidson, son of Sonia and Wardell the Elder, a.k.a. Del Curry, a wonderkind scoring machine by the name of Steph Curry. On the other end of the floor, Milwaukee fans had their own exciting rookie to root for, an electric hooper named Brandon Jennings, a player the Bucks had selected at the 10 spot in the draft. Curry had a legendary run in the NCAA tournament earlier that year, a run that catapulted him to the top end of the draft board. Jennings was one of the early recipients of the high school mixtape phenomenon, grabbing the internet's attention with his athleticism, confidence, and his star power. He planned to use that momentum to bypass the college route and opted to play in China for a year before declaring for the draft in 2009. Now, on this particular night in 2009, in Milwaukee, Bucks starting point guard Brandon Jennings would excite the crowd with 55 points in a Milwaukee win. 2 nickels. Right there. See? The most points scored by a Milwaukee Buck, breaking Kareem's 39-year-old record. Meanwhile, Steph Curry, part of the Warriors bench at the time, would chip in 14 points for the away team. The careers would continue to move in completely different directions, but it would be Curry who would ascend to the top of the league with MVP trophies, championships, finals MVP trophies. This particular night would be the highlight of Brandon Jennings' career, other than the Milwaukee Bucks championship in 2021. Although Jennings had long left Milwaukee, he celebrated the victory with Giannis and company like he was on that floor, in the gym, in the practices, in the trenches. If you haven't seen the photos of Brandon Jennings holding the Larry O'Brien trophy, search it up after this podcast. It's embarrassing. Anyway, that's a little something for the NBA history nerds. Things are certainly happening in the NBA today, so let's talk about it.
Let's talk about something important.
We have some burning questions to answer on this episode, and the questions are not from me. They are from High and Low listeners. Yes, this is a mailbag episode, but a mailbag episode unlike any other. There are some spicy ones, but I don't know. That's just my opinion. It's subjective. So let's jump into it. This first question, gentlemen, is from Charlene in Brooklyn, New York. Brooklyn. In my opinion, the NBA has asked for too much from Kyrie Irving beyond the suspension, and the backlash seems to be way stronger than it's been for non-black celebrities who have done worse. Has the NBA overcorrected here?
The backlash should be worse. He's okay. If your ancestors have been enslaved and killed in a genocidal manner, you should have more sympathy for races that have a similar history. And if you don't, you should be heavily criticized for it, because you should be held to a higher standard than the racists and the colonizers.
What did you say?
Coming out hot. I think everything Kyrie's done throughout this whole saga, and everything he's done probably previously too, seems kind of immature. I think completing these team mandated activities and going to these sessions probably be beneficial for him and his personal growth. That said, I think he's probably too far gone. I mean, he's watched too many bogus YouTube videos. He's been rabbit holing for God knows how long. We all know he's religious, so he's probably more susceptible to believing lies and conspiracy theories anyway.
Who are you talking to right now?
I don't think he's going to change. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he never plays an NBA game again.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I wouldn't be
I
surprised.
think he has too much support from the other players at this point.
Seems like it, like Jaylen Brown, for example. But
yeah, and LeBron walked back all his comments that he made.
Yeah, but he said LeBron said Kyrie apologized. I haven't really heard an apology from Kyrie.
Well, he didn't say it. He wrote it on his Instagram in an Instagram caption. That was his apology. I agree with Sean. I think the backlash should be stronger. As to whether it's worse than what other non-black celebrities have done, I'm not going to get into that what's worse category, but I also don't think that the NBA overcorrected here. I think the NBA is letting Kyrie off easy, to be honest. I'm not going to belabor the point of going into what he did or said or didn't, but the bottom line is he pushed out a piece of Holocaust-denying propaganda that asserts some pretty horrid things about a subset of humans. Like, there might have been points in the film, I'm doing air quotes here, that Kyrie associated with, but like everything Kyrie associates with of late, he has zero aptitude in an ability to explain or portray what he's actually trying to convey here without devolving into conspiracy nuttery or I know the Oxford Dictionary, whatever the hell that was supposed to mean. So with that, I think he should provide an official apology, and I don't think an Instagram caption counts. And he should have to meet with Jewish community leaders and groups who can, if they're willing to undertake the work, which it is not theirs to do, educate Kyrie on why what he said or didn't say was so hurtful and damaging. He should do sensitivity training. I guess he should be fined. I don't know. That's a tricky one because it's hard to equate like blatant anti-Semitism with a dollar amount. But I think the NBA should have suspended him, like Steven was talking about last week, not just Brooklyn.
I don't know how to feel about this because I already spoke on it last week, and the NBA didn't really do anything. It's the team that's been doing all this stuff. And I said that the commissioner's weak and the NBA is weak. So yeah, I understand he did some stuff that's wrong, but then there's things about his owner that did bad things. And you look at what the Phoenix Suns owner had said, like the N-word multiple times, and he didn't have to go through like a list of things before any punishment. So if this is like a precedent of what they're going to do going forward in any sport, because I don't think we've ever seen that in any sport. It's just so weird. And I don't know what the outcome is going to be. I don't know what they want. If he says, I'm sorry, is everything swept under the rug? Like, okay, we're good. I don't think so. So I don't know what to say. I'm so confused by this Kyrie situation.
I think one unique thing here is that when situations like this occur, like you mentioned Sarver and all that stuff, he didn't back down, like he didn't go back and be like, oh yeah, I guess that video that I shared or that movie that I shared was anti. Like he just kept going and kept going and kept going. Like I think that's a part of the problem.
I think some of his point is like, okay, you're upset that he liked the video and tweeted it out.
Not liked.
But he's like,
I don't care if he liked it or not.
Like,
he shared it with like 5 million people or however many people follow him, right?
But the video's still there. And it's still on Amazon. So more than 5 million people can watch it. But no one seems to care about that. And I'm like, I kind of see what he's saying.
He's a signal boost though. Like how many people didn't even know that existed of those 5 million people before Kyrie tweeted it out?
Yeah, but I in his defense, anything Kyrie does from like the past 3 years, it's always going to be nitpicked. So
lightning rod.
I mean, some of the things he does deserves to be
okay. Picked. That's fine, but the fact is, it still is on Amazon, and it won't come off of Amazon because Jeff Bezos is going to make money off of this, and it's fine if Kyrie comes out tomorrow and says I'm sorry, this video is still going to be documentary, still going to be on there, and no one is going to care about the video, or are we going to move up and say, hey, listen, the video's still there, it needs to be taken out? Because this is like a 2-week thing and it's still there and no one cares that it's still there.
That's a good point.
I'm seeing tweets where people are like, I'm going to watch it now to see what the issue is. I'm like, this is crazy.
Exactly. You said he's a lightning rod. Are the stills going to go up or down now? They're going to go way up.
They're going up because it's still available. So that's what I'm saying.
Well, not just that it's available, that he's pushed it too.
Well, but I'm saying he pushed it 2 weeks ago, right? He hasn't done it since. I don't think he's pushed it out since.
I can see where Steven's coming from here, because we're so focused on Kyrie Irving. And I think at this point, Kyrie Irving this is more of the micro argument here.
He's a scapegoat, kind of.
Yeah. The macro argument here is the fact that the content exists, and it exists on a platform where it can be removed. It can easily be removed, right? If it's anti-Semitic, then why isn't Jeff Bezos and Amazon being challenged here? Because we have seen that in the past, that content has been removed from streamers when it's been deemed illicit or defamatory, whatever, but no one is talking about that. Everyone's talking about the fact that Kyrie Irving retweeted this or shared this with the world. And now the focus is on, what is he going to do? He needs to apologize. All of these things, as opposed to, the filmmaker is anti-Semitic, and he was able to get this film made. Let's talk about the people that funded this film. Let's talk about the fact that it's still there. It's still there for people to even share. Like, no one said to Jeff Bezos, "Hey, you need to take this off your platform." That's because Jeff Bezos is rich and he's friends with some of the people. And actually, I wish King was here, because then we can really get into this conspiracy theory.
Both things can be true. Both things can be true. We should be talking about exactly what you just said, but we can also be talking about the person who shared it, because of the audience that they have and the reach that they have. Both things,
and the fact that this is an NBA podcast.
Yeah, but we have been. But it's not. I don't know if it's NBA related, because if he says, "I'm sorry" tomorrow, are we still upset at Kyrie?
Well, it's not
a real apology. That's not a real apology, though. Like,
okay, so if he says sorry, it's not real. So what does
to
he
a
have
certain degree,
to
I kind of respect Kyrie more for not apologizing, because like that would have been a weak, forced apology anyway. At least he's like, standing by what he believes, I guess. But he's not backing down.
So what does he have to do?
You'll love the caption then. He does.
What does he have
just
to
that.
do to make you believe that he's like apologetic? Sean,
He made LeBron believe he's apologetic. Apparently,
nope.
Well, that didn't answer my question, but I don't know. Like, it's weird. And you guys, like, the NBA gets money off of the urban community. Most of their players are black, and some players are now almost pushing back-ish, whether they're on like ESPN, Fox Sports 1, or they're just actual players. And like, even Floyd Mayweather, they're like, I believe in what he's saying ish. Like, they don't want to lose their sponsors and stuff, right? So I don't know what's going to go in the next month if this still drags on, but it's silly and terrible for the NBA. And I don't know, just
it's getting bigger than basketball.
Yeah, and all the other sports are just playing sports. The NBA is doing everything else except for sports.
It's becoming the WNBA.
Yeah, so if I can cut in here.
Wow.
A couple of things. I truly believe that we are reaching the pinnacle of Kyrie Irving's arrogance. There's certain rules in life and entertainment that you don't break, right? Like, you don't say slavery wasn't a bad thing. You don't say, Hitler had some good ideas, he just was misguided, right? You don't say the Holocaust wasn't that bad. Like, you don't have to be a genius to know that you got to stay away from phrases and statements like that. I believe Kyrie's arrogance made him believe he could say these things and get away with it. He has put himself bigger than the league, and that will be his fatal flaw. What he is doing is not only affecting him, but everybody else in the league and everybody that's associated with the league. And that is the problem that I have with him. I don't care what happens to him. He could be banned for the rest of his life. I could give two whatevers. But he is putting himself above the league and thinking that he is better and smarter than everybody else. So here, let me go out and educate you and bless you with the knowledge that I have.
Okay.
And that is my biggest problem with him.
Okay. I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. When you say that Kyrie is putting himself above the league, making himself bigger than the league,
correct?
How is that possible?
The league,
right? So
no, not necessarily the league. Media, the media, they always they shove the mics in his face with the cameras. They want him to say the most salacious things. They are salivating when somebody finds a tweet and takes a screenshot of this guy sharing that, right? They've put him in that position.
If he's so smart with his flat earth BS, he should know better. This isn't the first time he said something stupid or done something stupid and everybody came after him for it, right? He didn't learn his lesson the first time, the second time, the third time, the fourth time, the fifth. Now he got burned, right? There's a large Jewish community that, number one, loves basketball, and number two, supports the NBA, right? And in New York, no less. So really,
didn't they play this movie in one of Shaq's theaters?
I mean,
I don't know. But the
how hands-on do you think Shaq is at those theaters?
Listen, I don't even care about
Bezos isn't hands-on.
Listen, I don't care about the movie. Give me 5 seconds. Google or the dark web. I'll find you something even worse. Whoa. Right? We know it's out there.
Do you guys know how far down the checklist Kyrie's gotten? Like, are they updating us or no?
You want a ticker? You want a TSN ticker?
No, the only thing I heard was he had a meeting with Adam Silver. And I was like, okay.
That wasn't even, was that even on the list?
No, that wasn't on the list.
That wasn't on the list.
So I'm like, all right, can we get an update? Because it's a 5-game suspension. That's it, right?
No, minimum 5 games.
He has to complete all of those things. But they're appealing it, or his camp is appealing it, I guess. Or the Players Association is appealing it.
He'll be back by Hanukkah.
And not even wow.
Oh god!
Oh, come on, that was too easy, man.
Charlene, thank you for your question. We have another question for Bigums in Thousand Oaks, California. Bigums. Shout out to Bigums, man. LeBron James spoke up about the Kyrie Irving issue, but he threw his former teammate under the bus. Would it have been better for LeBron to say nothing? So now, this before we jump into this, like, yes, I think you can interpret his words as throwing his boy under the bus or whatever, but LeBron has since walked it back.
I'll jump in first. I think LeBron shouldn't have said anything at all. But now that he's opened his mouth, I don't think it's hurt him in any way, shape, or form.
It did. That's why he walked it back. He got immediate backlash.
Okay.
Okay. This is what LeBron said initially. He said, it doesn't matter what color your skin is, how tall you are, or what position you're in. If you are promoting, soliciting, or saying harmful things to any community that harms people, then I don't respect it. I don't condone it. That was the original statement that he made. And I think he thought that he was going to get support. Again, I don't think he should have said anything. But with all the backlash that he received, he then says, I told you guys that I don't believe in sharing hurtful information, and I'll continue to be that way but Kyrie apologized, and he should be able to play. That's what I think. It's that simple. Help him learn, but he should be playing. What he's asked to do to get back on the floor, I think, is excessive in my opinion. He's not the person that's being portrayed of him. Anyways, back to my rehab session. Okay, LeBron, we know you're injured. All right, you don't have to tell us that.
Yeah, the crazy part about this is Kevin Durant said something first as well, and then he had to go on Twitter and re-clarify his statements because people are like, oh, well, he said this, and they're nitpicking on what he said. And I'm like, if guys didn't say anything, like Westbrook has those interviews and he's like, next question, you get fined. So it's like, these guys can't win as athletes. No. And it's very touchy because they're only asking the top guys how they feel about the Kyrie situation. And yeah, they got Nike deals and other deals, right? I don't feel like he threw him under the bus. I think he maybe said something and didn't have proper training from like his publicist on what to say. But I feel so bad for these guys, man. They're just trying to play the game. They don't want to answer about Kyrie.
Very vague, generic comment too, right? It's not like he just said, I hate hurtful comments, or I'm against it. Like, he didn't really, he said,
I don't respect it. I don't condone it.
Yeah, I don't condone, hateful, hurtful, movies, videos, comments. So yeah, I don't think he went too far out on a limb. I don't think he should have received the backlash either, but I really didn't care to hear what LeBron said about it anyway. He probably should have kept his mouth shut. I think he should be focusing on not being 2-9 and worry about
Wow,
social matters.
all y'all saying he should just shut up and dribble, hey? Gosh, what a turn of events. I mean, if he's gonna say something, then I share the same opinion as you guys. I'm not gonna say shut up and dribble, but like if you're gonna say something, then say something. Like to your point, Stephen, like so generic and like
he didn't say anything.
Even KD's same thing, right? It was so vague and generic. It's like if you're gonna say anything, which you know you're gonna open yourself up to all of this, then at least say something worth saying. You know, like don't just toss out generics and hope that someone interprets it the way you want it to be interpreted.
Or say something like what Jaylen Brown said, you know? Since when did Nike care about ethics?
Boom, bam, bop, bada bop, boom,
No, he's wild.
That's very specific.
That's a strong statement. That's a strong
He's
statement.
wild for that.
So
I'm like,
Mike
what?
Breen bang right there.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I guess
move on.
You should just shut up and dribble. Or make a statement that means something. All right, Bigums, thank you for your question. Quick reminder to the High and Low Lives everywhere. If you want to leave a question for us to answer on these shows, drop a DM on TikTok at More High and Low, Instagram at Get High and Low. Put the links to the show notes. It's time to sew this segment's eyelids wide open and rub a glob of Vicks Vapor Rub all over its eyeballs. When we come back, we have more questions from listeners. We'll be right back. More High and Low. This moment is brought to you by High and Low listeners. This week, we asked a few listeners to share their current top 5 players in the NBA. From 1 to 5, Bigums in Thousand Oaks, California has Giannis Antetokounmpo, Luka Doncic, Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, and Steph Curry. Shango in Shreveport, Louisiana has Giannis, Jokic, Luka, Curry, and Jason Tatum in the 5 spot. We got Cam in Henderson, Nevada. He has Giannis, Luka, Jokic, Curry, and Embiid. And Marissa in Toronto, Canada has Luka at number 1. Giannis, Jokic, Curry, and Kevin Durant, KD, at the 5 spot. Shout out to Giannis for holding down that number 1 spot on most lists. It's apparent that High and Low listeners recognize the Nigerian Nightmare as the best player in the NBA. Some call him the Greek Freak. To me, it's better to be a nightmare than a freak show. That's just me. Great list, everyone. Thank you. Appreciate you. Now let's get back to the show. And we are back. I'm Ike Amaechi, and I'm here with special guest Stephen Leslie, Ugo the Sheik, Sean the Don Khan, and Sir Mitch of House Orsatti. The High and Low mailbag is still full of questions that need answers, so let's get back into this. This next question is from Shango in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Yes.
Shango. Everyone is excited about Victor Wembenyama, but the NBA pays too much attention to future prospects and not enough to the current crop of rookies and sophomores. What do you think about this?
Papa Shanko, thank you for asking a question that's not about Kyrie or the other drama that's surrounding the league right now. Yeah, I mean, he's got a great point. Like, there's some very impressive first and second year players, including Canada's own Benedict Mathurin, who's a scoring machine. Obviously, yeah, we all know about Paolo Banchero, aka Patrick Mahomes. Dude's incredible.
I thought you were going to say Josh Primo.
Josh Primo, another Canadian, unfortunately. I got a funny story about him after. There's guys like Tyrese Maxey, Tyrese Halliburton, the Tyreses. There's Larry Markkinen. All those guys are a bit further along in their careers, but they've taken huge strides. They might be all-stars this year. But I don't know, man. Victor Wembanyama, whatever his name is, I think he might already be better than all of them. And I think he deserves a spotlight. I think the future of the NBA might potentially be him and your boy Chet Holmgren. Like maybe they're the new Bird versus Magic. I don't know. I mean, probably not, just because there's so many more Magics and there's so many more Birds in the NBA these days. I feel like that's a testament to the growth of the game, the evolution of athleticism. We've seen all the eras. How many eras have we been through at this point? What does that really say about us? We're old. We'll probably see a few more eras before we're gone. But the NBA is like, there's some crazy young talent right now, and I think it's like time for us to forget about the old and with the new.
Yeah, we'll probably see a couple more basketball players from dead, rotting in the ground. That's right, Sean. I think we're all running out of time to stop saying his name wrong. By the way, this guy's going to be the future of the league, as you said. Time to start getting it right. Great question.
Wembenyama.
There you go. Great question from Shango, as always. I agree with you, Sean. I think like we're losing sight of the current rookie and sophomore class once they hit the league. But there's absolutely no way people should not be talking about this kid. Like, he literally does everything. 7'2" or whatever. He's breaking basketball. 7'4", great. Maybe still growing. Who knows? I don't care if we never talk about another player in any other class ever again, as long as we get to talk more about this guy moving forward. Except Toronto man's Scotty Barnes. City boys.
Scotty Barnes has adopted the Toronto slang so fast.
Gosh, he's the best.
I forgot that he's American.
Yeah.
So, wow.
Yeah, I mean, this is the hype train. It happens every year.
This is something special, though, right? This guy.
Yeah, no, he is special. I mean, we saw it with LeBron. He's special. He comes in, he does his thing. Like,
It's not every year, though. We don't.
That was like 20 years ago, man.
Yeah, there was Zion, there was LeBron, there was this guy. Who else would you put in that category?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
No,
but anyway, this happins all the time.
Who did that? Great crickets, whoever did that.
Sean.
Yeah, Sean. I don't think it's a big deal. I mean, I think the rookies and rookies and second year players, I mean, step up your game, do something. But
wow.
The hype is the hype. It's never changed.
Be better, you child. What's the matter with you?
Do better.
Some of these guys that are in here.
Be taller.
Some of these guys that are in here are just horrible. So, Scotty came in, look what he's doing, right? Cade came in, look what he's doing. Mobley came in, look what he's doing. We're not forgetting those guys, right? So to me, I just, I mean, is Fultz still in the league? I'm not going to cry for him.
Wow.
Gosh. Wow. Banner stuff there, you go. Love that.
I actually forgot about Cade until he mentioned him, but thanks.
What? Oh, I was paying attention.
That's because Sean doesn't watch basketball. We all know.
I don't watch basketball, though. Yeah, you guys all know.
Highlights.
Shango, great question. Thank you very much. Let's move on to Hassan in Winnipeg, Manitoba. This question is this. What players have aged out of the core group of NBA stars? He says top 10 to 15. And what players have found their way in? This is a good question.
That's a good question.
It's a great question. What? So who are we talking about? Like the age players? Is it like KD, Kyrie, LeBron?
I'd say KD is probably still top 10, 15.
Russ,
I don't think it's been. Russ hasn't been there for a minute.
No.
Russ is aged out. I think
Harden.
I think
Harden
has aged out.
I think LeBron's out.
I think he might be getting there because of injury. Playing more games.
Listen, he's shooting 24% from three. His stats are down. His team is 2-9. I think you could make a very strong case that he's out of the top 15.
I think you can also make an argument for Kawhi being out of this conversation.
Yeah, I got Kawhi out of the top 15 because spade to spade, he's always unhealthy, and guys are always like, but when he's healthy, it's like, when was the last time he's been healthy for a long stretch? So you're always remembering little bits and pieces. So so I think he's out of the top 15.
I made a list. I think 80's out.
80's out for sure. I made a list of who I thought is in the top 10. I did it very quickly, so don't judge me if I miss anyone. But I have like Luka, Tatum, John Morant, Devin Booker, Giannis, Donovan Mitchell, Steph, Jokic, Embiid. That's 10 right there. Would you want KD or LeBron ahead of any of those guys right now?
Yes. I'd take KD over Booker. I would take KD over. I'd take KD over Donovan Mitchell. Yeah, it's KD. KD's not dead. Like, he just plays for the Nets, and they're a trash bag. Like, KD is still, very much has the capacity to be top 5 player in the league.
Listen, he's scoring 30 points a game, but so is Shai Gilgeous and his team, and their teams have identical records.
Right.
Just compared KD to Shai Gilgeous. Wow. Wow.
Gilgeous is averaging
that
32, 31 a game, and their teams have identical records. So why is KD get a pass for being in the top 15 and Shai Gilgeous doesn't?
For a lot of reasons.
What, for the history? We're talking about this year. We're talking about 9 games of this year.
Yeah,
So
but
one is a 7-foot unicorn who can dribble, shoot, play defense. The other one is a 6'5", 6'6".
You can do all those things, Sean. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, Shai Gilgeous is. I struggle to kind of think about exactly what he excels at specifically.
Oh, he's very good. He just he's young still. KD, honestly, Sean, I think you're really discounting the Brooklyn aspect here. How motivated would you be to play right now if you were on Brooklyn and you're the best?
He's still averaging 30-something a game, so he's somewhat motivated. But no, listen, KD is in that conversation, and he probably is top 15. I was just making a point. Out of the 10 guys I named right there, I personally wouldn't trade any of those guys for KD right now.
You're lying.
So, but that's
you're
10.
You're looking at team record. You're not looking at the individual person.
I'm looking at impact as well. Impact winning. Yeah, you're right. Winning. I'm looking at also. I don't know, man.
Looking at the team. You put KD on 3 or 4 of those teams, it's a wrap.
I'm also looking at future health, things like that also.
Okay, wait. So I was going to say a couple of names here. So what about like DeMar DeRozan?
Out.
What about
Definitely
Karl
out.
Anthony Towns?
Never.
No?
Cusp. I think he's on the cusp.
Could be in the top 15, maybe.
Towns cusp. DeRozan,
because people are going out. Other bigs are going out, so he has to do it.
Towns only does one. Yeah, he's one-sided is the problem with Towns.
Lugo, let me hear it. Who else are you going to name?
Yeah, who else?
Tyler Hero?
What about PG? What about PG?
Tyler Hero.
What about PG? What about PG?
PG and Buckets. Jimmy Buckets, whose team is 4-7.
He's maybe aging out.
Yeah,
PG is
health. I think he's still
aging
averaging
out.
24 a game or something.
Yeah. No, yeah, PG
goes in.
We haven't mentioned Lillard.
We don't mention Lillard.
No.
I mean, he's probably in the conversation top 15
right now.
Yeah.
What? How? His team's been winning games when he was sitting. No.
Thought we weren't talking about teams though. Thought we were talking about impact.
But I mean, like, what is he doing when he's playing?
Rich keeps all the receipts.
No, but so keep the receipt. If his team was winning without him, what has he been doing when he was playing? I haven't really seen anything where his stats are like crazy to be top 15.
Okay, you haven't seen
what are his stats anyway?
I got to check. No, I've been seeing so much Luka.
This guy avidly avoids Dame. He's like, I haven't seen it. Oh, okay.
He's averaging 28.6 points per game.
Yeah, that's points. We know that. Anything else?
That's horrible.
Well, okay, we're talking about top 15. If you're talking about points, we're just gonna go by who has the most points. Then Cat's automatically in there, right? Because does he do anything else?
40% from the field,
41 from 3. That's not bad.
He's doing what he's always done. I just think that we can't really dismiss Dame as quickly as you'd like to.
Yeah, the guys who are at like 13 to 18 are all going to be. It's going to be close, right? Like you're going to be splitting hairs.
Good question, though.
Great question. Thank you, Hassan. Anyway, I think we've destroyed the bottom of the mailbag with these burning questions, but we'll do that again soon. I like these episodes, man. Listeners, thank you for sending in those cues. Greatly appreciated. I like how they're not just questions anymore. There's a bit of editorializing embedded in the question. Smart move. Keep it up.
That's a stray shot at former question askers right there.
Wow.
Rude.
Apologies. Respectfully.
Or a compliment to people that have asked multiple questions, like Bigums and Shango.
Why the f*** I can't shoot 3-point shots?
That brings us to the end of this episode of High and Low. Thank you, Ugo. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Steven. Thank you, Mitch. Subscribe to High and Low anywhere you find podcasts and make us a part of your weekly routine. You know where to find us. We're on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube. Links to those are on the show notes. It's in the ether there. So where can listeners find you, Ugo?
I gotta change that handle because it didn't get me any DMs. So
Big
yeah.
Gunny?
No, nothing. Yeah, I thought somebody would ask a question about it or something, but nope, didn't work. So yeah, you can't find me anywhere at this point in time. Just chilling, enjoying life. And I'm actually happy that Steven is back. It's been a while since we've heard his voice.
Actually happy.
What do you mean it's been?
So there's more confirmation that Ugo didn't listen last week.
Huh?
Exactly.
I did not listen last week. No, yes, I wasn't invited last week, so I didn't bother listening.
You weren't invited this week either, but you still showed up.
That's true.
You bastard.
Oh man, that is cold-blooded. All right, well, hey, Sean, where can they find you?
Oh man, you can't find me anymore. I don't want to be found. Leave me alone. I'm busy.
Wow.
Actually, next week I might be at the hospital for the birth of baby number 2. Might come early, as what everyone's saying, so I may not be around.
Wow.
Congrats,
Big
dude.
things ahead. Well, we'll congratulate him when the baby arrives. Yeah. Sean, life is about to change.
Again.
Oof, my condolences. And Mitch, where can they find you?
Oh boy, I don't know. We'll see how long this Bluebird app hangs around. But in the meantime, find me over at Twitter at ThirstyVillain until you can't.
Are you paying for a check mark?
Absolutely not.
Steven, where can they find you?
You guys can find me talking to Jewish leaders in my community this week. Trying to get educated, learn some things, so I don't make mistakes like certain NBA players we talked about all podcasts.
Yeah, that's a smart thing to do.
Good idea. Yeah.
And thanks for completing your checklist and rejoining us on the podcast.
Thank you. Am I allowed to join back the Discord and drop whatever I want to drop, or what?
No,
Not whatever. Not whatever.
don't even think about it. You're on suspension still.
Banned for reminding us again. You have a new checklist.
Exactly.
Oh, that was just gross. Okay. Hey, once again, Music is by Live and the Enjoy Music Group. You can find Live on Twitter and Instagram at LYVE. Additional music by Sonny Rockwell of the Goodness. Can't find that guy anywhere. Sound design is by Vonn+Abrahamm. This is a Vonn+Abrahamm podcast, just in case you didn't know. So on behalf of Steven, Ugo, Sean, and Mitch, thank you for listening to High and Low, and we'll see you next week.
Is it fat?
Aww.
It's got to be fat.
Aw, man.